Hi, everyone. So today we're going to talk about the narrative story that you are going to develop this week as your writing activity. Now, when I was a kid, there were these great books, and your parents might remember them. You might even have some hanging around your house somewhere, but they were called Choose Your Own Adventure. And they were stories that basically stopped after a chapter and they would say, would you like to go this direction or this direction? Do you want to go into the cave or into a rocket ship? And if you wanted to go in one direction, you would turn to page 38. And if you wanted to go in the other direction, you would go to page 112. And every choice that you made, the story would develop differently. Well, this week, we're going to create one of those stories. I was kind of inspired by that storytelling of my childhood. Now, sometimes these stories were a little wacky because, they're all a little bit random depending on the choices that you make. But we've been talking a lot about character motivation in our independent reading, and characters and people are all motivated by choices. So this week, you're going to start with some choices. You're going to write a story, and it can be any genre that you prefer. So it could be a mystery story, an adventure story, a realistic fiction story. It could even have romantic elements. It could have suspenseful elements. It's totally up to you, okay? Now, remember, this is a school story, so it should be school appropriate in its content and its language. But we are going to generate a setting, a protagonist, a problem to be solved, and then if you want to make it a little bit challenging for yourself, you could also choose an object, a challenge object to incorporate into your story. So you are going to pick these. You're gonna randomly select them, and I'm gonna explain to you how you do that. So I'm not assigning this to you. You're gonna pick it off a list using the criteria that I give you, and then you are going to write a story about that. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your setting. So you're going to use the month that you were born to do that. So for instance, if your birthday was April 20th, you would choose the month of April. And by the way, happy birthday. It's just been your birthday. So you're going to go to this document, open up the link, find April, and then that would be your setting. Okay, and I've linked this document for you on Schoology so that you can use it. Then you're going to pick your protagonist. So you're going to choose the main character of your story. And to do that, you're going to use the day, the number day that you were born. So if you, again, were born on April 20th, then you would use the number 20. You'd go to this document and you're going to pick your protagonist. Now, the setting and the protagonist might not obviously fit together. You may have to become creative in order to write a story that involves these two things. So you're going to have to think outside the box, okay? This is a creativity exercise. The last thing that you're going to choose if you're just doing the basic story is your problem or the main situation in your story. So what's happening in your story? So I'd like you to think in your head of a number between 1 and 15 and then go to the document and find out what's at that number. Okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could add in an object. So you would, again, choose a favorite number. So like, for instance, I would say maybe 5. I don't know, it just came to me right now. So I'm going to choose the number 5. I'm going to go to this document. I'm going to find out what's at number 5. And then I would have to incorporate that object into my story. So your task is to take the strange and unusual combination that you've selected. And again, this is a creativity exercise. You're going to create a story. It should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it should make sense, okay? The story can be in any genre of your choice. Remember that you want to develop all the narrative elements that we talked about with our memoirs that you learned about last year when you were writing other kinds of fictional stories. So you want to develop your characters, your setting, your conflict, and your theme. And it should be at least 3 paragraphs long, no more than 3 pages in length, okay? I have given you a document to use to plan your story. So click on that link, copy it into your into your Google Drive, and then you can write on that and use it to create your story. Okay, set a timer, write for 30 minutes, and then try to wrap up where you're at that point. Now, You're not finished yet. Because after you've written your story, we would like you to keep practicing your grammar. Okay, so I'm asking you to go back into your story and highlight one of each in these colors, please. So in pinky purple, you're going to highlight a simple sentence. In minty green, compound sentence. In yellow, the complex sentence, and in orange, the compound complex sentence of your choice. Okay, you just need to do one of each. I just want to see that you're understanding the grammar and you see how to apply it. Now, if you're not sure how to do that, go back into the grammar folder for this week and review my lesson on these types of sentences. You can use your notes from last week to help you, but I also have notes there that can be of assistance. So if you need anything, reach out to me. When you're finished doing both of these things, writing your story and highlighting the grammar, you're finished. And you can upload your Google document into the submission page on Schoology. So I hope that you have fun creating your story. Remember, think outside the box. I'm looking forward to reading what you develop. Happy writing.